Since our thoughts, thought patterns, and beliefs create our life experiences, it is important to recognize when our thinking becomes distorted. This series explores the thought patterns from Section 6 of our Spiritual Nutrition. By learning to recognize these patterns within ourselves and realign our thinking with divine truth, we can stop repeating the learned patterns that create negative outcomes, and gradually we begin to experience greater peace in our lives. In this video, we will explore 3 related thought patterns: abandonment, fear of abandonment, and reverse abandonment. Abandonment is the original wound, the experience of being left unsupported or alone when connection was needed. Fear of abandonment develops as we try to prevent that pain from happening again. This is anxious protection through attachment. Reverse abandonment appears when we try to protect ourselves by pushing others away before they have the chance to leave us. This is avoidant protection through distance. Although these patterns may look different on the surface, they are all attempts to protect us from the same fear, the loss of connection, or the fear of being left alone. 1. Abandonment, the wound, core pattern. Abandonment is the experience of being left unprotected, emotionally unavailable to, or unsupported by someone we relied upon for safety, care, or connection. Abandonment may be physical, emotional, or relational. It can also appear as a strong desire to run away from difficult situations. Over time, this can become a habitual response to emotional triggers. How it manifests. Abandonment can appear in many ways: withholding communication from others, or even from our guide, as a form of punishment, giving someone the cold shoulder, isolating, rejecting others, escaping situations through substances such as food, drugs, or alcohol, distracting ourselves in ways that exclude connection. For example, listening to loud music, reading, working on a computer, talking on the phone, or watching television. It can also appear as abruptly hanging up during a disagreement, turning our back on someone, or leaving the room during a conversation. Sometimes it appears internally as resentment, rejection, or the wish that someone difficult would simply disappear. In extreme cases, it may even appear as thoughts of death or suicide. It sounds like, "I quit," "I give up," "Do it yourself," "I don't care," "I don't have time for this," "I can't be bothered," "Will I survive this?" "I was left alone when I needed support." Spiritual effects. Abandonment can create difficulty completing projects or persevering through difficult times. Physical effects. Possible physical expressions may include addictions, obsessive or compulsive behaviors, bone spurs, heart disease, hip or knee problems, lung problems. Origin of the pattern. Abandonment patterns often originate in early experiences such as being physically or emotionally abandoned by parents or caregivers, getting lost or separated, not receiving help when we needed it, feeling unimportant, uninvited, or unwelcome, experiencing emotional unavailability or neglect. A common belief often forms: "This happened because of me." Changing the pattern. Healing begins with acknowledging the loss. Abandonment heals through grief, not through bypassing pain. We allow ourselves to recognize something essential was missing, and that mattered. Next, we release misplaced responsibility. We begin to dismantle the belief, "This happened because of me," and replace it with, "I was not responsible for their capacity or choices." Healing also requires restoring safety in the body. The nervous system must learn that the danger is no longer present. Grounding practices, gentle regulation, and supportive relationships help rebuild that safety. Instead of running away, we practice speaking. We say what is on our mind, even if we fear the other person may not want to hear it. Healing occurs when the psyche learns, "Even though I was once alone, I am no longer unsupported." 2. Fear of abandonment, anxious protection through attachment. Core pattern. Fear of abandonment is the belief that we will be left alone and unsupported as a punishment for causing someone's displeasure. Safety becomes dependent on approval. This pattern is often associated with anxious attachment. How it manifests. This fear can make it difficult to express what we truly think or feel. Some people respond by becoming controlling or harsh. Others become overly agreeable. They may apologize constantly, even when they have done nothing wrong. They may silence their own thoughts, opinions, or emotions in order to maintain connection. Common expressions include people-pleasing, over-apologizing, over-accommodating, self-silencing. They may also experience anxiety when others seem distant or upset. It sounds like, "Don't leave me. If I displease someone, I will be left alone. How do I keep people from leaving? I don't want to upset them. I'll just go along with it. If I'm good enough, they won't abandon me. I can't risk losing this relationship. I should apologize, even if I did nothing wrong." Spiritual effects. Fear of abandonment often creates unstable self-esteem. Physical effects. Lower back pain, sciatica. Changing the pattern. Meditation helps us remember something important. We are never truly alone. Our guide is with us always. As awareness grows, we begin noticing moments when we silence ourselves or fear displeasing others. We recognize this is fear of abandonment activating. This fear feels familiar, but it may not be true right now. And gradually we learn a deeper truth. Even if someone leaves, I am not alone. I am still supported. The healing truth is not that others will never leave. The healing truth is this: I can remain whole, supported, and safe even if someone does. Three, reverse abandonment, avoidant protection through distance. Core pattern. Reverse abandonment is a defensive strategy. Instead of fearing abandonment openly, the person pushes others away first. Distance and control are used to avoid vulnerability. This pattern often appears as avoidant attachment. How it manifests. Some people respond to abandonment fear by appearing cold, harsh, or distant. Their behavior causes others to withdraw. This allows them to maintain control of the relationship. Because they expect abandonment, they struggle to trust enough to form meaningful connections. It sounds like, "I will make you leave me before you can abandon me. I won't let you get close enough to leave. How do I avoid needing anyone? I will make sure no one can abandon me. I don't need anyone. People always leave." Changing the pattern. Healing begins by recognizing the root of the fear. If abandonment occurred in childhood, it is important to understand children are not responsible for their caregivers' actions or choices. We release the belief, "I was abandoned because something is wrong with me." Instead, we remember, what happened to me was not my fault. What I choose now is my responsibility. I am no longer dependent on others to be whole. I do not need to punish the present for the wounds of the past. Final reflection. These three patterns are deeply connected. Abandonment, fear of abandonment, and reverse abandonment, they form a protective sequence. Abandonment is the original wound. Fear of abandonment tries to prevent the wound from happening again. Reverse abandonment attempts to control the outcome by pushing others away first. Each pattern is an attempt to manage the same fear, the fear of losing connection. The healing truth. Healing begins when we remember, what happened in the past was not our fault. Our worth was never dependent on someone else's ability to stay present. Connection can be rebuilt through honesty, communication, and self-trust. And as the teaching reminds us, even though I was once alone, I am no longer unsupported. The spiritual perspective. From a spiritual perspective, we are never truly alone. Our guide accompanies us throughout our lives, offering support, insight, and direction when we seek guidance. Learning to recognize this companionship helps restore the sense of safety that abandonment patterns often disrupt. The core healing message. Abandonment says, "I was left alone." Fear of abandonment says, "I must prevent people from leaving." Reverse abandonment says, I will leave before they can hurt me. Truth remembers, I am supported. I am not alone. My worth was never dependent on others staying.